Hello, Libra. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Libra, it is so nice to see you. I'm so happy that we get to spend this time together. Welcome to this tea reading. Today we have, the 9 of Cups, which has everything to do with happiness. You can even see with the colors of the card, it is rich, it is beautiful, it is overflowing with that sacred dew, that mana, that ambrosia, that amaret of the gods, the goddesses, of the divine. Life is good. Life feels good when this card is around. Now, I'm a mom. I'm also a cynical idealist, maybe. I don't know, an absurdist. I think that's more of an absurdist, but there is a touch of deep discernment in everything that I think about, do, and say, right? Well, not say always. But when we see these really, top of the mountain, feeling good, joy, bliss, wonderful, wonderful, happy fairy tale ending, there's a dash of, okay, but what does this lead to? Okay, but what's on the other side of this? Okay, but is it sustainable, right? So when we get into these peak places, we have to remind ourselves, yes, everything is as good as I could imagine it to be. Things are coming together. I've had some good news. I'm feeling, elated. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And yet you have to remember, right? We have to continue to take care of all the other stuff. And I don't like to be the downer, but this is where these kinds of cards can lead, is overindulgence, distraction, forgetting oneself. And, so when we see that, I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, I see you're happy. Wow, let me tell you the news. Let me tell you the news of the world right now. Or, just so excited to deliver, some kind of blow, right? And we all know people like that they're always the ones that rush to say when somebody has transitioned, passed away, gotten divorced, whatever. They're the ones that are going to call you, right? So I don't want to be that person. That's not what we're talking about here, but it is. It's just if you are having, something real sweet, a piece of cake, a candy bar, a nice drink, whatever. I don't know about you, but for me, I'm going to drink at least a glass of water to temper that thing, right? We got to balance it out, dilute some of it going into the bloodstream, right? So that's all I'm saying. Let's just be prepared to temper ourselves, to not get lost in the thing. All right. Well, Libra, it's almost Libra season. I know it feels some months off, but man, it is coming so quickly. June went by really fast. We're already a week into July. Okay. So stay. It's a stay. S-T-A-Y. Stay. But we're looking at the ruins of somewhere, right? To me, it looks like an old building that is just, scattered out. Just surrendering itself back to the earth. And it does kind of remind me of the Sphinx and the moon above, okay? So we have a protector, a guardian, a thing that lasts millennia, right? A legacy. Beneath the illusion or delusion, which is the moon, the thing that warps ideas, that makes things appear as they are not. Larger, smaller, creepy, beautiful, and they're twisted shadows of what could be, or what is, or what was, right? So this is the illusion, this is the absurdity, this is the twisting and turning of the emotions, the minds, the psyche, right? And we have that Sphinx kind of sitting upon the ruins. Now, the Sphinx is a guardian, a gatekeeper, okay? And one that holds the mystery, a mystery at least, right? So I feel for you, and we had that word stay. I feel for you, you have been in a place where, you have been dwelling in an old life. You have been sticking around. This is like a feeling of, it's like, and I hate to say this, but I feel this distinct turmoil in this kind of situation. But it's like when, the kids, you stay together for the kids, right? They're younger. Teenagers maybe, and you stay in a marriage or a relationship living together so you can be there for the kids. But, it absolutely is corrupted. There is a toxic relationship that is kind of at the center of this thing. And I don't know that it's toxic, but maybe just a played out relationship. Maybe it is that you don't even really like to be around each other, and you live in the same house kind of deal. And I'm not saying that's the situation, but the feeling, if you could imagine what it would be like to stay for years beyond what you should have, but you're doing it with a purpose. It feels like there's a reason. It's not just like I'm desperately clinging to this person and to this relationship because I don't know what else to do. No, it at least has a perceived reason, and that is to stay together for, the greater good. But you are falling apart within the institute of this particular marriage. And if you could just imagine what that would feel like, how that would affect you. Now, that feeling, I want you to take over here to this idea that you have stayed in something long beyond the expiration date. Now, maybe that's the town you live in. Maybe you never left where you grew up and that was always your dream. Maybe it is that you are, the person that's trying to be the glue for the family, just a bunch of people who no longer care for each other, extended family, siblings and cousins and aunts and uncles and parents and all the things. Nobody cares to see each other. Nobody cares to talk to each other. They're always arguing on the internets or blaming each other for this or that. And you're trying to keep them together, but it's like herding cats. Nobody cares. They're all on their own stuff. They don't, and it's wearing you out. That's the kind of feeling. So whatever this is in your life, I can see that you have really, and Libra, I love you very much. Let me just say that. I love you very much. But you've overcomplicated things. And and I'm saying this because I do love you. You have found very complex reasons to stay. You have created this whole story in your head that there's nowhere else for you to be. There's nothing else that could work in your favor. That this is where I have to stay because this is what I've known. I've put work into this life. Why would I leave it? That's the feeling. And I empathize because I've found myself there. We all have. You're not alone in this. We've all done things that we knew needed to end. We've all stayed places we know we no longer belonged. But that doesn't mean we have to forever. Okay? That does not mean that there isn't anything else out there for you. So I do feel like this is the question. This is the question being posed, right? The riddle. What is next? What is next for you? Now, if you're not even ready to begin to think about, like, I'm leaving, I'm moving, I'm doing this, I'm getting a different job, I'm retiring, I'm, whatever it is, then maybe this is the time where you're brave enough to start dreaming. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to write it down. You don't have to, desperately try to remember every detail of your daydream. No, but allow yourself to wander. Allow your mind to think, what if? What if? Start to build that world, that vision. Now, maybe you are. Maybe you're beyond those first steps, and you are. You're already pretty set on going to this next place, right? Then yes, start writing it. Start painting it. Start making vision boards. Get into it. I promise you. Just considering what life could be like, creating these different visions in your mind's eye, right? This helps expand the possibilities of your world. I recently started learning, expanding my vocabulary. I'm learning different, words and different, little bundles of jargon, philosophy words or philosophical words, I guess. Deeper alchemical words. These are things I'm also really trying to not just memorize, but have a relationship with, religious terms and feelings and whatever. Just I'm trying to expand my vocabulary because, I really am of the belief that the more words that we have to construct concepts and experiences in our mind, yes, it gives us a richer and deeper understanding of our physical life as well, because they mirror one another. Absolutely. So I think expanded thinking, contemplation, daydreaming, all these things are very important to our life experience. Okay, so it looks like we have maybe a Sagittarius older sister or mother or somebody that is a feminine person in a role of some kind of power or leadership in your life, or at least at one point they were. Okay, so we have this larger being here. Now they are holding what looks like two people, and to me it's almost like dolls. So I feel like we have a person here who had no qualms with really getting involved in other people's business and really thinking that they could control situations as though they were playing with dolls. Now, we also have, it looks like a G and an M. So I'm wondering if this is maybe one of your grandmothers or somebody who is a grandmother adjacent person, like the old lady down the street that's always been like a grandma to you or something like this. We also have the number 26 and the number 32. 32. Now, this person in your life who I feel has been fairly difficult, and I think at times you've had a really hard time accepting somebody being so controlling. And I think that's, it comes down to just somebody being so controlling in your life. And excuse me, I'm just loudly drinking. Loudly drinking my water. And I think it left such a deep impression on you all through the rest of your life. You have never been good at bending to any kind of authority. I feel like you also are a very private person for the most part. Because I feel this real focus on never wanting to let somebody have any kind of power over you, any kind of control. Not, this is the thing, it gets under your skin. You cannot stand the thought of somebody telling you what to do. And I feel like this has been somewhat detrimental at times for you because I think you have a really difficult time, falling into a system wholeheartedly. Now, can you pretend and get yourself through it? Yeah, probably, right? Like the best of us. But I do feel like it just messes with you on a deep level. It's like your boss, who is, by the way, I'm in my early 40s here pretty soon. And, now, I'm not trying to be an ageist, but you just go through this transition in your life at some point where management starts getting younger and younger, and you're getting older and older. Okay, now, I'm not saying it's a terrible thing or feeling to have a younger boss, but listen, when it happens for the first time or it starts to be this onslaught of younger people in these positions of, minor power or whatever, it's hard. It's hard to get used to that. Especially if you've been in the industry for longer, I remember this feeling being the young person when I was waitressing and then aging into being the older, the older one on the shift. And the dynamic, it's a lot different as you get older. And so I feel for you, it's maybe been a little bit of a challenge. Okay. But I do think that you recognize this in yourself, that you have had a problem with authority or being kind of, told what to do by somebody. And it relates a lot back to this person in your childhood. And I think that this is where the work is. I feel that you have lost opportunities in the past, probably when you were younger, right? Young adult. Because you were very resistant to kind of falling in line at times, right? And doing the things that you were expected to do because you wanted to do what you were going to do, which is fine. I was the same way, right? It took me some years, but I got around to being all right. I figured it out. Hopefully you have as well. But, at times we have to learn to temper ourselves. Sometimes we just have to do what we got to do. And sometimes that means zipping them lips, doing the thing, keeping it to yourself and getting through it, and I'd love to say that we all need to be able to do whatever we want and feel however we want and act however we want all the time, wherever we are, doing whatever we're doing, doesn't matter. I would love to say that, but that's not how I feel. Let's just be real. That's not how I feel about things. So, I think at times, yeah. And do we feel sometimes that we've lost a piece of ourselves in that management, in that tempering of self? It might feel that way. Yeah, it might feel that way. And I know that's part of the struggle of being a human person, especially in the modern world. Right? So I feel, and I'm looking over here, we have this heart. We have an arrow through it. So there is a belovedness. Let me just say, I don't want to just talk about the struggle here. You are in love. Okay. This is compounding a lot of these big and shifting emotions, right? But we also have, and it looks like these two people in particular have the heads of dogs or some kind of animal. Okay. So this is a very primal energy in you. And I feel like in this time in your life, you are figuring out how to harness. Yes, how to harness that, what's the word? Stubbornness that you have. That thing that rises up in you that says, halt, I will not listen any longer. I'm not going to do what you're going to tell me. No, that's that thing. It comes up and it's hard. Once it's there, it's hard to get it out of your thinking. That is the guardian of that doorway, right? So I feel you figuring out how to take this resolve and bend it into something else. Put it into the work that you want to do. Now, I don't just mean how you're making money. Right? You might still have to do that job that you don't like as much as you used to, or it has all these, people that are wanting things from you and telling you, you got to do this, we need this by this time, and sometimes we just have to accept, I'm going to be working for the most of the rest of my life, and I have to find a way to balance it out. Okay? So what do? We find the work, the real work, the reason that we are here, the reason that you are manifest in this corporeal body, right? What is that work for you? Finding your true will, your meaning in life. Now, I'm sure that you already know what that might be, or at least within the realm. So I feel you really, and this is where the happiness really starts flowing. I feel you pouring yourself into this. Whatever it is, maybe you are somebody that is, very socially minded. Maybe you are somebody who has always wanted to, rescue animals or, I don't know, foster children or paint pictures to lift the energy of humanity, or I don't know. Maybe you just absolutely know that you need to move to the forest and live in a little hut, or earth. What are they called? Earthship. Those houses, build like a house into the side of a little hill or whatever. Whatever it is, I feel you in this renewed relationship with this very core and fiery part of self, instead of always trying to make it smaller, hiding it. When that stubbornness comes up, when that I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do, when that resolve, that just absolute immovable stance that you get into, when that thing starts to rise, channeling it into using, the idea of sublimation even, into something that will be not only useful for you, but quite a spiritual project. I think that this is the place where it is the theater that you are working things through, processing, integrating, experiencing. Now, look at this. This one says east. Look at that, or easy. I saw east first. E-A-S-T, but it could be easy as well, because it does kind of look like a Y. But I saw east. Okay, so maybe going east. We have 2010, maybe 2010. Maybe that was a good year for you. Maybe that's a return to something. Let's see. We have somebody that really liked to make soup. And we have the lamb right over here. And it looks like an older person. So I have a feeling of somebody who was a cook. I feel that this person is transitioned, by the way. Cooked maybe for the family, maybe they worked in restaurants, maybe they owned a restaurant. Soup was their thing. They loved making soup. And I feel that this person made you feel very special. This is somebody that maybe, I don't know, maybe it was family, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was somebody in the community where, your mom used to buy her bread or something, and you would always get like a little treat from this person. But there's some huge, I can't get away from this feeling of something about soup. Soup. I don't know. If you know, put it in the comments. If this relates to you, I want to know. I'm nosy. But yeah, I feel that they're around, oddly. But I don't think just for you. I feel like wherever they were in the community, they still kind of hang around. They dwell, right, in that place. But I don't feel like it's like they're stuck. It doesn't feel anything like that. But to me, it feels like, there is like this bond to wherever they are, that they are kind of tethered to that place. But it's like a happy thing for them. You can feel them when you visit. Even if the store or whatever it was isn't there anymore, there's still a feeling of them. And I actually feel like wherever you're from, the town area, maybe it's the block or the neighborhood that you're from, heavily haunted. I don't want to say haunted. Haunted is not the right word. Heavily populated by ghosts, humans. A lot of them. I don't know why. It feels like a very energetic place, but I think that something must have happened in the area that you grew up in. Like, some kind of war, maybe a battle, or some kind of sickness, mass, I can't say the D word, but quite a few people passing. I don't think this was in your lifetime, though. It seems old. It feels old. But it is. It's a busy place. You can feel it. It doesn't feel scary, though. Let me just emphasize. It doesn't feel scary, just busy. Like if you're walking in the little downtown area, it feels loud with kind of, I don't know exactly what it's called, it's in the psychic space, but it's not, right? It's not exactly, it is a realm that is very tightly woven into base reality. So, whatever that is, it's just a little askew, and it's full of people who are, kind of tethered to this location. So you do happen to come from like a very energetically potent area. Okay, that's also influenced you a lot, if you know it or not. Okay, now we're going to do our lucky numbers. Number 94, 14, 72. All right, 94. Oh, shoot, what was the net? 14, 72, I think. I always try to remember them, and I'm so bad with numbers, you guys. You have to, I don't know what it is. It's like, I would say I have dyslexia with numbers, but it's not just that. It's like they come into my mind immediately. My mind just like, bing, out, get out of here. Okay, water. So it's the Water Blessings affirmation cards, and these are so beautiful. They're cute. There's 4 sets of them, and they're each element. So we're in the water element right now. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna stop where it feels right. And we have this little shell, and it says 19, pearl, shell. Acknowledge your role as the wise one, to stay open and to give forth only love. And to give forth only love. I would love to aspire to that, but I'm also a Virgo, so we can keep trying though. Only love, only love. All right, Libra, I want to tell you I love you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for spending this time with me. It is super duper a huge honor. It really just, every day I have to pinch myself thinking I get to do readings all day long. I get to work with just the most amazing people. I get to share energies with people going through all kinds of different stuff, and experience a little bit of their lives, a little bit of their hopes, dreams, desires, all of the stuff. And to me, that is it's such an honor. It really is. So thank you. Now, if you also want to, and I have to say this for the algo, I know, I get all like sentimental, all emotional, and then I'm like, hey, do you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment? But if you do want to do any of those things, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a prayer request, you can put it in the comments, or email it to me if you don't want to put it on, a public space. The email is ulaishere@gmail.com. You can email me there. Other than that, I just want to say I love you. Please take care of yourself. Take care of each other. This time of the year, we really need to be checking in on one another. Just seeing how people are doing and so on. That seasonal affective disorder is real. If it's cold or if it's hot, we often forget. Now, we're in like high summer here. We often forget that there are a lot of people who go through deep depressions during these warmer months. And, we're inside a lot, just like we are during the winter. When it's real humid or too sunny, or, you're working all day and it's really nice outside, it's not a good feeling. It gets into your psyche, among other reasons. But yeah, people definitely struggle even in the really warm months. You can also see this as crime really kind of goes up. People are outside, they're getting angry, they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. There may be, partaking, indulging in things that are affecting their, emotionality, their psyche, and so on. And so, all of that being said, we should be checking in on each other for sure. So anyways, I love you. We'll talk soon. Good night.